Hi, I am back in Tampere. I came back yesterday from Oulu up in the north, where I was for 2 days for a great conference organized at the University of Oulu. The title of the conference was Burning Questions 2019, and it was organized by the student of the Education and Globalization master course, as well as the students of the course on technology and education, both masters. It was a 2 days organized by the students, for the students, and around questions that they think are very relevant in terms of the future of education, but also the role that education and education system can play in shaping the society of tomorrow, in which they will be the decision maker, the workers, the civil servants, the researchers. It was a great 2 days for various things. One is that maybe because it was actually organized by the students, it was a kind of very informal and inclusive kind of atmosphere overall. They had a number of sessions, different type of session, Socratic dialogue or fishbowl kind of session, plenary session, and storytelling session, which all allowed students, academics, researchers, experts, and older people like I am to interact in a very kind of informal way, and to discuss what these questions are for the future. Some of the students were asking about what's the role of education in shaping the society of tomorrow. How will what skills teacher will have to have in terms of, preparing the new generations of workers and civil servants and, of members of the society of tomorrow. Does education have a role to play as it is? What is the political side of education, and what kind of model, social and economic model education also pushes on society, being such a pervasive system in the life of people in all countries in the world. My burning question was about the role of technology and how education can help as we are approaching very quickly and rapidly the fourth industrial revolution, how education can help prepare the workforce of tomorrow to be able to manage and live with the technology that are rapidly emerging: artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, data analytics, data science, and so on. Key takeaway with regard to my burning questions was that actually we often speak about how education has to adapt to technology, as technology and new technology, particularly digital technology, are emerging and coming up all the time. And those are often imposed on ministries and education system by companies. Actually, we have to reverse maybe the thinking there and speak about how the technology has to adapt to the education and the problem the education system have at all levels, from primary school, lower secondary, higher education, and so forth. This means, in my opinion, that we have again to remind ourselves that we need to start from the problem which exists in the system, and then see whether certain technical solution actually, or technology solution exist, and apply them to those problems, or whether more traditional ways of addressing those problems can also work, and can be maybe more training for teachers, can be new policies, more funding, and things like that. The second takeaway with the discussion around technology and education is the gap which exists at different levels. Some of the students were highlighting that already today in classrooms here in Finland there is a gap between the digital knowledge and literacy that students have because of their the time they spend with applications and various software, but also in certain ways also how to develop those software, and the ability or the knowledge of teachers in actually catching up with those development and those constant evolution of technology. to me, that is, within a classroom, is kind of representative of a metaphor of what is happening also at the larger level, at policy level, where civil servants, policy makers, and decision makers actually struggle to keep up with technology change, technology solution, and find the ways to, on the one hand, regulate those technology spaces and how they contribute to society and economy, but at the same time also understanding how they can benefit from those. So those challenges exist at different levels. The third takeaway for me, and is final, just to make 3 points here, but there were of course many, was that educationalists, and I don't consider myself an educationalist or a researcher in education, even so I work also on education, often or constantly criticize the education system, the schooling and so on. And there is a bit of a repetitive kind of dynamic there of criticizing a system and maybe not trying enough to look at solutions that can work. And that affects a bit the research kind of sphere in the education sector. And was something that students recognize, highlight, some of the professors and academics who were there, but also experts who are working in education development in high-income country, middle-income country, and low-income country. So overall was a great conference, great atmosphere, great effort by the students, and in a sense also by the university to allow the students to be on the driving seats of these 2 days and events. And I came back very happy to have been invited. I've learned a lot. I've learned about ways to also kind of stimulate discussion between people also with different ages and seniorities and so forth. And I really enjoy my time there. So I'm hoping that the students will continue with this, and that next year there will be another event, and I will be back also to meet them next April to do some teaching around economic development and education, as well as adaptive development as a new way to address problem or to understand what the problems are in education system or education sector, and then through experimentation, trial and error, try to find solution to those. So well done to all of you over there in Oulu, and thank you again for having me.